The Japanese term Kaizen refers to the philosophy of small incremental changes applied over a long period of time result in significant improvements. So this is what we're going to talk about today. We're going to talk about progress, making progress. This is what episode 28 now of me doing this podcast. And as I said, we're talking about progress. We're going to talk about why is it important? Why is progress, I might even go as far to say, why is progress the most important thing in life? That's a bold statement. Take it with a pinch of salt, but still, this is what we're going to go into today. And maybe some other things later on. So progress, why is progress essential? Why? Think about, let's start far, yeah? Think about in the past, where we come from and where we're going. The history of humankind, even. Why did we get to where we are today? What has happened over time? How did we get from Neanderthals to where we are here? I'm recording a video on my phone that has a camera, and then I'm going to be uploading it to this, metaphysical space. YouTube. Oh, what is this? So how did we get here? Well, as we mentioned, progress. It all came down to progress. If there was no progress, we would have stayed where we were. There would have been no civilization. There would have been no technology. None of that. Nothing that we're experiencing today would have happened. And then if we extend this into the future, if you think about life in general, unless we continue progressing on all fronts, socially, technologically, and everything that you can think of, the chances of us surviving, again, survival is a bit of a difficult topic to survival of the human species, yeah? Our chances of survival are going to be higher if we can obviously eventually leave the planet, go somewhere else, do something else, compared to if we stop progressing in terms of what Elon Musk is doing and all that stuff, and then we're kind of, we're going to be confined to Earth, and whatever happens to Earth means that if Earth goes, we go. So we're done. No more life as we know it. So progress is going to be the only thing that is going to give us a chance of actually prolonging existence as we experience it. Yeah, and actually the continuation of this storing of information. But anyway, I don't want to get too philosophical and too much into physics. Okay, so progress. This is one angle that you can look at it. Why it is essential, actually. Whether that's your opinion or not, whether you think, oh yeah, progress is the most important thing in life. Can you phrase it this way? Is that how you think of it? Maybe no, but it's important to understand and appreciate that because of it is why we're here. No progress, we would not be here. That's a fact. That's not my opinion. Okay? This is not my opinion. Is there a multitude of other factors that contributed? Yes. Okay? For example, if we didn't feel attraction to one another, if there was no love or whatever, probably we don't get here either. Why? Because no one wanted to reproduce, no one was attracted to no one else, and imagine if animals and humans or whatever, they just didn't feel the desire, that inner drive to reproduce, Still, we don't get here. So. But there is that thing inside that wants you to keep going. What is this? Is this the will that wants to survive, as Arthur Schopenhauer would say, or is this... I don't know yet. We're not sure, but let's not get off topic. Progress. Why? Let's bring it back to, let's bring it into a more the current context. Okay, you're here probably because you wanna get better, hopefully. Okay, because if you don't have any desire of improving, if that's not something that you want to do, I don't see the point of you listening to me talking. Because 99% of the things I say when I'm serious are all about getting better. So that's why you're here, hopefully. Or maybe you just find me very attractive or entertaining. I don't know. I don't know. Anyway, context, current context, progress. Remember the word, yeah? I'll probably repeat this over 100 times today, but we'll have to take it. Imagine a life, and let's say, let's do a little bit of a thought experiment. Think about all people, everyone, whether they believe that progress is essential or they just I just wanna be happy and blah blah blah. Happiness is the most important, this, that, whatever opinion they hold. Look at everyone, every single person's life. The people that are kind of happier, more fulfilled, or live, it is subjective, but still better lives overall. Is there an element of perceived progress in their lives? Yes or no? Think about this. Yes, let's say someone, like the type of person that I'm not really a huge fan of, if I could say that without being immediately harshly judged for my opinion, which is, oh, traveling. Wow, 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 wow. That's the move. I want to travel. That's what I want to do. Okay. Even this, which is for me mostly, this is just chasing pleasure, to be fair. Now, is this my view of living a meaningful life, chasing pleasure in the form of traveling? Now all people that like traveling are gonna get on me. Yeah. Oh my God, yes. Oh my God, yes. You're an idiot. How can you say that? I travel because of experience. Okay. It's you travel because it's pleasurable. You enjoy it. That's why. So anyway, even these guys, that group, even they, as they travel, go to this place, to that place, to this place, in their day-to-day lives, why they're putting one foot in front of the other, they have this kind of goal that they're working towards. Traveling, I want to travel. So when they go to this place, that's one tick. Maybe they go somewhere else, different country, tick. So they're working to, oh no, I've been to 2 countries now, or to 5 countries, to 7 countries. So they're building up, yeah, accumulating experiences. Could you say this is progress? Yes, you could. Okay. Now, is this the best utilization of your time? And I don't know. You kind of should know my opinion. But anyway, that's not important. My preference. It's fine. But even this, you're going somewhere. You're moving towards something, an idea in your head. You're progressing. You're going towards that. Are you saving money for something? You're progressing. You're going towards that. Okay. You're learning something. You're progressing your knowledge. Okay. You want to attain a goal or something in the future. It's essential. Imagine a life of no progress. What does that look like? Imagine it. I really want you to imagine it. And this is also for all the people that really think that money is what's gonna make the change, like happiness. But then again, I don't want to get into a conversation of happiness exactly. We want to stick to the topic, which is progress. I don't want to compare happiness to progress. Okay? Because we're going to get into it later, is how you phrase things. For me, happiness might be this thing. I have this definition of happiness. For someone else, when they say the word happiness, they might think of something else. So we'll clarify that later. But my point is, let's imagine you've achieved everything you want. Everything you want. You have all the money in the world, okay? You have a nice family, let's say. No children, though. You have a nice family. Have a wife or a husband. You have money. You have all the clothes. You have all the cars. You've traveled the world. You've been everywhere. What happens then? You've gone to all 200 and whatever countries. Everywhere. You've been everywhere. You've traveled. You've gone everywhere, done all these things. Okay, if you have enough money, hypothetically, you can do that in a couple of years. How much time to travel to 100 countries? Let's just push it. 50 countries a year, 1 week each. 4 years, hypothetically. And you do, I've done this, I've done that. And you get to this point, I've done this, I've done that, I've been to 1 million parties. Yeah, I know. What are you looking forward to? What's next? What happens then? And obviously, what is the defense to this argument? Well, I'll find something, I'll do something, I'll go to a different... Come on, let's not try to be difficult. You're trying to strawman my argument, which means you take my argument and you try and turn it into its weakest form and argue the weakest form of my argument. This is in science, means straw manning. So straw man, a man made of straws is weak. We want to steel man my argument. So you want to take my argument and its strongest form and try and argue this. So the strongest form of my argument, hypothetically, is you've done everything that you wanted to do. You have all the money, you've had all the experience, you've been to 500 parties, you've been to all the best cities in the world, and you've seen all the world's wonders. Okay, you've done that in 5 years, 10 years, okay, because you've got all the money in the world. And you've got, yeah, then what? What happens then? Now someone's going to say, whoa, that's not realistic. Come on, this is just a thought experiment. We're just talking hypothetically. Because if you don't talk hypothetically, then we're just using reason to get somewhere. Okay? We're philosophizing at the moment. So then we can see what the conclusions are. We're testing a particular philosophy, pushing it to its end, to its limit, to its max. See what comes out of it. And then with the conclusions and with the findings that we've come up with, we apply them to our everyday context and everyday lives and see what does that look like. That's essentially what you should be doing with philosophy and why I believe philosophy is good. So you can, in your mind, push something to its limit, see where it leads, find what you're looking for, find the answers to the best of your ability, and come back and apply it to your everyday life. So, because some of you might be thinking, oh, this is too unrealistic for me. Like, this is not practical. What are we doing? We're just thinking about stuff for no reason. Why are we wasting time? We're not wasting time. We're going deep into the topic. We're examining the subject. After we get to where we need to get to, we'll come back to the present and apply everything. Okay, so we got to that point. You've got everything, you've done everything. Then what? Think about it, okay? You want to place yourself there and think about it. What would you be looking to do? I don't know about you. Obviously, I did say no children. Why? Because if you have a child, that pretty much is gonna be your source of progress in your life because the child is growing. as it's growing, you feel a sense of development. If you don't have that sense of development, aka progress, then what sets in? The feeling of being stuck. The feeling of being stuck. So if there is nothing in your life that brings to you a sense of development, a sense of movement towards something, then you're stuck. You can have all the money in the world. That's why most people, they can never have enough money, because they've attached that goal of having money to their, I don't know, to their mind. And that's the only thing that gives them a sense of movement, going towards something. More money, because what else? And you miss the point. Imagine a life of chasing money. Is this the best utilization of your time? Why not a life of chasing skill? You still, obviously, you're not just gonna do one thing for your whole life and that's it. For most people, I'm working on making more money. That's one thing. I'm working on becoming better here. I'm working on becoming better there. So we're all progressing in multiple areas. But still, if it's just money, if it's just pleasure, you're gonna be missing this. Because at one point, it's like, I've had enough, I've had enough. But when you're focused on getting better at something, can you get to the point where you say, I've had enough? But that's if you enjoy what you're doing and you're getting better at it. You're learning stuff about it. You've applied yourself to a subject. By subject, I mean a walk of life, a sport, a job, okay? But to apply yourself to a job, that means it's probably going to be more than a job to you. So essentially what I'm saying is, we've discussed and agreed that progress is essential, because otherwise you start feeling stuck. And can you be happy when you're stuck? Not really, okay? That's even if happiness is like the most important thing for you. You are not going to be able to be happy if you're stuck, right? And if you don't feel that sense of direction and you moving in a certain direction in your life, you're not going to be happy, okay? So where does that bring us? Back to me. Oh no, that was fun. Let's come back to the topic. That was a short Thanos reference. Pleasure and money are more of a static thing. I don't like using the word thing. It's very general. I don't like talking in general. I want to be specific. Anyway, we'll get to this as well. What else did we have to get to? Using the right words. Okay, we'll get there. So now, we've kind of discussed the why. Why is it important? We discussed it. Because you get stuck. And when you get stuck, no one really wants to be stuck. The importance, now, hopefully everyone can understand. I'm trying to shift you away from the idea that pleasure or money are gonna get you there. They can. Maybe for some people, the chasing of pleasure, kind of, it can give you a certain sense of like fulfillment. You're gonna be deeply fulfilled and happy in your life. I don't think so. Can it mask it to a point where you can't really realize that, you're kind of existing? I don't want to sound too harsh, but we need to be honest. I believe, my personal belief is that a lot of people content with just chasing pleasure and just getting little bits of it here and there, and like that's all right. I'm not gonna. I used to be very judgmental, but now because I'm older and much wiser, I'm not gonna be as judgmental. This is the majority of people in the world. Okay, I used to chase pleasure as well. I couldn't really see beyond it until one day it was kind of taken away from me, you could say. So I was like, what happens now? I can't see any pleasure in the foreseeable future. I can't see it. I'm in pain here. I'm suffering, and I couldn't see pleasure, and it was really hard. I had to find something else that is more solid, that cannot be taken away from me. So I'm talking about this from a point of I've experienced it. Okay, it's not like I'm looking down on everyone that is kind of in this state of chase pleasure, get a bit, yes. It's like, yeah, it's like this, yeah. So let's get to the more practical side now. We've kind of understood that now, that improving at something, improving, this is the essential ingredient that we need to pay more attention to. Whether you're conscious of it or not, improving gives you that thing of fulfillment. You feel like, I've done something. Improvement. I'm progressing. I'm improving at this. Whether it brings you money or not, you kind of stop thinking about it. Oh, okay, you know what? I still make the same amount of money, but I feel much better. My life is much better just because I've started doing this, and I get better, and I go to bed at night and I'm like, today was a good day, and you can fall asleep. That's why a lot of people, they go to bed and they cannot sleep. You know how many years I spent? I can think of at least a couple of years that I couldn't really sleep. I couldn't really sleep. I developed the worst habits ever. I used to sleep with my laptop on next to me, playing something. If I wake up at night, if the video has stopped, I need to find a new video and play it. And that went on for years. Why? Because I was missing something. I don't know. I was still kind of doing what I was doing, but I didn't have this understanding of progress. Get better, push yourself. Okay? And if eventually, if you do push yourself hard enough, if you really apply yourself to, you know what, I am moving in this direction and I'm doing it purposefully. I'm applying myself, really. I'm working hard and I'm constantly looking to add more things, work harder, be more efficient. What did we say in the beginning? Kaizen. Small incremental changes sustained over a long period of time result in significant improvements. Some people say 1% better, 1% better, 1% better. Okay? Realistically, if you had a divine calculator which calculates how much better did you become today, it's almost impossible to get 1% better every day. You're probably getting better 0.0001 a day. But obviously, compiled over time, it will make a massive difference. Okay? All right, today I learned a more efficient way of tying my laces. So from now on, I'm going to be saving 20 seconds every time I tie my laces. Whoa, Oh wow. Well, these 20 seconds in 1 week are gonna save me 2 minutes and 20 seconds. Okay? In 1 year, so by 52, are gonna save me almost 2 hours. Okay? In 10 years, that's 20 hours. In 50 years, 100 hours. Okay? So you've saved, essentially, you've added to your life 5 or 6 days worth of time just from tying your laces in a better way, in more efficiently. That's 5 days worth of time for you. You know how much 5 days is for someone that's dying? That's an eternity. Small incremental changes lead to big things. You have to develop the ability of looking into the future and creating in your head an accurate picture of what that looks like. Now, why am I every time praising philosophy? There is nothing more. It develops that ability to go mentally to certain places. Okay? The future in your head is a place. Right? I read a book. It was about memory, studying and remembering. Okay? How to be more efficient with studying, how to learn things and actually learn things, not just read it twice. You remember it for 5 minutes and then it disappears. Okay? So how memory works. All right? So essentially, I'm going to drift off a bit, but we'll come back. The smartest people, the world champions in memory competitions, the people that can remember, they can show them, like, I think the record is something along the lines of, you see a deck of 300 cards, yeah? You can recite 300 cards in a row, or digits, or whatever, okay? After looking at them for like 1 or 2 minutes. Just boom, 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 boom. You look at them, let's say 1 minute or 2 minutes, and then you recite them. 6, 5, 4, 7, 2, 1, 5, 4, 7, 5, 6, 1, 300 digits. How is that? Can you imagine? Okay, so how do they do it? Many techniques, but one, like the big one, is creating, if you've seen Sherlock Holmes with Benedict Cumberbatch, you can visually see the representation. It's actually a nice series. In one of the episodes, creating this thing called a mind palace, right? Mind palace. So imagine this big palace, castle in your mind with many rooms. Imagine the layers. Yeah, imagine every room. When you learn new information, mentally, you go into this mind palace and you store it somewhere. Okay, so you close your eyes and you go and you store the information here. Yeah, so this technique is going to help you retrieve the information easier after, when you're trying to remember. Okay, so I learned about, I'm looking at a book, what does it say about Alex Ferguson? So now I can go into my mind palace and go into that specific room where I left the book and everything. When I left, obviously not the physical book, but all the knowledge about this book, I go to the room. I remember I left the knowledge on at the bottom left corner in a box, a red box. And when I open that box, it says Alex Ferguson, leading. Okay, so that's his second book, and blah 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 and so on. That's just an example. This is not literally what I do. Now, this is the mind palace. So it's basically attaching your memories and attaching your knowledge to a physical space. Where is that physical space? It only exists in here. Okay, so you need to take advantage of the brain's ability to create these places. It's almost like physical places. And now, as I'm coming back to the topic, the future in your brain can be like a physical space, because you're imagining something happening. So it's like there is something, You imagine a situation. You don't just imagine how you feel in the future. It's difficult. Hey, if you could imagine realistically how you feel in the future, you'd feel it now. Because I just imagine how happy I feel in the future. So to imagine feeling happy, I actually have to be happy, you know? Because otherwise you're just imagining images if you think about it. Oh, I imagine this image here of me smiling or something like that. At least that's how I work. If you can imagine feeling a certain way, but realistically imagine it, I'm pretty sure you're feeling it now, even if it's in the future. So actually, Jesus, I really hope I make sense because I feel like I'm going a bit fast and I'm talking about things that are very difficult. We should be fine. I sound smart, at least in my head. Maybe when I listen back to this, I'm going to go, what the fuck is this guy talking about? So yeah, we imagine images, pictures in physical space. By reading philosophy, you go to these different images more often. This guy sends you in this direction. Arthur Schopenhauer, his pessimism and everything, all of this. We're like a thrown stone, yeah? Of the stone that has been thrown, if you can get into its mind somewhat, the stone is gonna think that he's got free will. But in reality, the stone was thrown and is going to a certain place, whether he wants to or not. But the stone is gonna feel, I'm going there, yeah, I want to go there. That's what he said. This is what we're like. He compared us to a thrown stone. How optimistic. Yeah, this is Arthur Schopenhauer. I keep mentioning him. I have to get around to reading the books. Anyway, so why? Now we're on to the how. Applying it, yeah? You have to make it stick when you're moving towards something. That's why I'm gonna repeat it again. What is Kaizen? The Japanese term Kaizen. Kai is change and Zen is good. So like good change, improvement. The philosophy of small incremental changes, sustained over a long period of time, result in significant improvements. Remember this. Why do I keep saying it? Because a lot of people are like, yeah, I want to get better at this. And they start overdoing it. They do too much too soon and they cannot sustain it. So that's why the emphasis is on the word sustained. Sustained over a long period of time. Result in significant improvements. So sustained. Do things that you can sustain. Okay? You want to get better at certain sport. Okay? Add a workout to your week. Add one. Stick to it for a week, for 2 weeks, for 3 weeks. Then you're like, yeah, you know what, that feels comfortable. Then add more. Then add more and more and more. But it feels comfortable. You don't want to do things that you're going to start and then stop. What happens as immediately as soon as you stop doing something that you've been doing and you're like, yeah, this is good, yeah, it's good that I'm doing this, I'm working hard, and then you stop. What do you feel? How do you feel when you go to bed? I'll tell you how. You feel like you're not doing anything. Oh, what am I doing? I'm a lazy piece of shit. Depending on how harsh you're willing to be with yourself. But this is, to be honest, you know how I think? That's the reality. If I was doing something and now I'm not, I'm gonna say to myself, I'm a bitch. I'm a little bitch. Why am I not doing this? I don't have any excuses. I don't give myself any excuse. Oh yeah, but today, I felt a bit tired. No, what do you mean I felt tired? Huh? Or I never say this. I don't use the word tired because of that. I have this fear of using the word tired. No, it's not a fear. I just don't do it. It's almost like a principle at this point. How can I be tired? Tired is a mental construct. What do you mean I'm tired? Is my body fatigued? Yeah, probably. But am I tired to say, oh man, I'm tired? No, it's just my subjective perception of fatigue of my muscles or of my brain. But I'm not tired. I'll keep going. I can keep going, no problem. Am I going to be as efficient? No, but I'll keep going because tired to me, this thing being tired does not exist to me. All right? Now I've started drifting off more and more, but you get my point? Small changes. So you can sustain them. So you don't need to stop and feel like shit. So you can go to bed and actually sleep. Go to bed and fall asleep. That's why I said I couldn't sleep for such a long time. I couldn't sleep. Ask me how I sleep now. Did you ask me? Well, I I can tell you in the last 3 or 4 years, I've probably had I've had less than 5 nights where it's taken me more than 3 minutes to fall asleep or 2 minutes. Most of the time I fall asleep within 10 seconds of actually turning the light off and going to bed. 10 seconds, 15 seconds max. Can you imagine? I don't even have time to, I can't even remember of thinking of anything when I go to bed. I'm just like, boom. And I'm asleep within 5 seconds. I don't even have one thought go through my head. Why? I'm not rethinking anything. I've done what I needed to do, and I know it. I know it deep within. I know it. That's why I fall asleep. But when I wasn't doing it, when my focus is on the wrong place, oh my God, this didn't go my way. This happened, that happened. But why? And why am I focusing on this? Because I'm not. Why is my focus there? Well, my focus is there because it's not where it's supposed to be, which is improving. If you put your focus on improving, it's so much easier to take everything that comes your way. You're like, oh yeah, this happened. That's not ideal. Well, okay, but I'm focused on improving, so that's not the best. But then again, what do I need to get better at? Oh, this. Okay, that's what I'm working on. You see, my focus is here. Things that happen here, the so-called out of my control, external factors, uh, of no significance. When I've got my focus locked in. But to have this focus, why am I so locked in over here and so driven to progress, to improve, to become more efficient all the time, to add new things? Why? Well, because I managed to actually philosophically discuss in my own head, where would this lead me if I chase this? Where would this lead? Where would that lead? And I saw that I really understood consciously the value of progress. I understood it. I internalized it. It's a part of me now. Okay, the same way that people wanna be liked or want to have a family or be loved or whatever, or love people. That the same way you feel these things, I've managed to cultivate a feeling within me that is pushing me towards getting better, progressing. I have this. Is as much as I never talk about feelings. I don't like it because too subjective. Okay, when something is too subjective, it's difficult to quantify. Then it's difficult to to judge it. Where are we going with this? Okay, what are the results? What is the direction that I'm going with? Oh, I'm feeling this. Oh, feelings are inconsistent. I can't Yeah, this is not a metric that I'll be using to judge my progress in this or this or this or that. Yeah. So I don't want, but I have this feeling now, the same way we all as humans have these other feelings that I just talked about. I've cultivated the other one for progress. I need, I physically have the need of getting better. Everything else can be fine. I could have had the best day, be with the people that mean the most to me, have fun all day, laugh all day, but I haven't really put any work into something. And I go to bed and I'm like, and I don't fall asleep within 10 seconds. I'm like something is missing, you know? That's me. It took me a long time to cultivate this need for progress. Does it sound a bit cold? Yeah, maybe for a lot of people could sound unhealthy, but hopefully if you've been listening to me for 42 minutes, then you have something within you that is telling you that it's there is something is missing, something is important that I'm not really seeing, something important I'm not seeing, and I'm trying to see what it is. And if you're listening to me and it's the first time, or you've been listening to me and I'm not overly annoying, and you don't find me to be a prick, yeah, cold-hearted macho or something like this, you're actually like, okay, I'm listening to the things he says, yeah, I'm not really agreeing or disagreeing with his philosophy, whether he's cold or not, it doesn't matter. Just listen to the things I say. Is it a bit cold? Yes, maybe, but try to think about whether it makes sense or not. Oh, how can you be like that? Oh, what do you mean you with all the people that you love and then you still are like, if you don't work hard or whatever, you're like, something's missing. How long can I do that for without getting depressed or so? You know? It's necessary that I have to do something. I need to do something. You see, I've developed this. It took me a long time, but I've developed it. Now I know. Just because you observe yourself, I observe myself. I see the drive now, the push that I've cultivated, as I said. It was there, but let's say the thing that was in me, that was feeling naturally that, yeah, I want to be good. I want to, ambition or whatever you want to call it. You could say it was, when I look back, I felt like, oh yeah, I'm very ambitious or very driven and pushed. Now when I look, but if I compare my drive, inner drive for improvement and blah, 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 compare it to my drive now, it's like, I feel like it used to be a 2 out of 10. And now it's like a 9 out of 10. Hopefully in the future, I feel the same way. Back when I was 27, I was driven, but it was like 5 out of 10. You know what I mean? But I've been cultivating it. The two wolves fight, okay? You have a fight between two wolves. Which one is gonna win? The white one or the black one? And you know what the answer is to this? This is like a proverb. The one that you feed, that's the one that's gonna win. The one that you've been feeding, he's gonna be stronger. So I've been feeding this desire, I've been giving it. Take this, take this, take this. I've been putting timber, wood in the fire, fuel. And that fire has grown. Yeah. That's what I wanted to say. Another thing is, as you keep getting better and better and better, what I wanted to throw into this podcast, I hope it's not wasted 45 minutes in. Who's gonna watch 45 minutes of this? Hopefully a lot of people. Most likely 5. But regardless, you keep getting better. You keep getting better. This is now for the people that are actually good, you know. You're good at something. You've been progressing. So far I've talked about like the person just starting out. Okay, let's say you're not starting out. You've been working hard. Kind of next steps. What we need to understand is the importance of language. I think I've done well in this podcast of using the correct words, because I did talk about words in the earlier. Okay, we did say, what do we mean by this? What do we mean by that? Happiness and progress. What's the definition? You know, so definitions. This has to do with language. Okay, so what we need to understand this expertise. You know, walks of life are going to be manifested in your ability to are going to be manifested in your ability to make distinctions, okay, to make more distinctions than most people. Expertise is going to be manifested. I'm phrasing this too difficult. Am I trying to sound too smart? There you go. I messed it up now. I don't sound smart all of a sudden. So expertise is going to be manifested in your ability to make more detailed distinctions between things. Okay, an expert, just let's say a complete amateur, not an amateur, but someone that doesn't know anything about football. They see, oh, this guy scored a goal. Whoa, what a shot! Okay, wow, yeah. The expert sees, oh, outside of the boot with his left foot. Okay, and how volley. The expert can give you. It's not just a shot for the expert. For the expert, he can give you 15 different techniques for shooting the ball. Okay, for the just untrained eye, I just took a shot and he scored. Cannot make a distinction. Okay, this is very simplified though. So this is how your expertise is kind of manifested into making these distinctions. When you make these distinctions, you're like, okay, you know what? This is different from this. I've noticed it. It's observed. Let's put a name on it. Yeah. This is different from this. Okay. Well, let's put a name on it so you can realize the difference. In any area that you want to get better and whatever, you need to be making these distinctions and be very clear with this is this, and I'm gonna name it this way, and this is that, and I'm gonna name it this way. All right. If you're too general in the way you talk, if you're not specific at all, how are you gonna move forward? How are you gonna get to the next stage? Am I making a lot of sense for people that are not interested in this? Is this very niche topic? Yes, but try and understand how you use language, and as you're moving forward, you want to learn and to be specific with your language so you can make more distinctions. So when I talk about happiness, we need to make a distinction between happiness and pleasure. We need to make a distinction between this and this, so we all know what we're talking about. Even when you're trying to learn something, okay? We can be conversing, we can be talking about something, a topic, and then the word that comes out of my mouth, yeah, let's say happiness. By happiness, I mean, me having £100 in my pocket, this means happiness. To you, happiness means having a beautiful family. You know what I mean? We're saying the same word, but do we mean the same thing? This is a different application of language, but still, specificity. Be specific, because when your language is more specific, your thoughts can be more specific, and then massive change occurs. Okay. So if you want to think like an expert, a big part of it is you wanna have the precise vocabulary, right? And you start seeing things. You start, okay, this is this, this is that. So with this, to move it to the next level, I need to do this and that. With this, to move it to the next level, I need to do this and that, which is going to be different. Meaning, this thing requires A and B. This, to get better, this thing is going to require C and D to get better. If you just keep them under the same umbrella, same name, how are you going to be efficient with making them better, improving them? Where's the efficiency going to come from? Where you're going to be, okay, for this whole, for it to grow and to get better, we need A and B. But no, it was two separate things we need A, B, C, and D. And all you had was one. You perceived one thing, you weren't specific, and ultimately, because of that, your decision in terms of best way forward wasn't good enough, wasn't the optimal one. Does that make sense? I hope so. So language is going to make you more, can help, can improve. It's going to be a big factor in improving. That's what I wanted to say. Hopefully I made sense. Hopefully that's one thing that we could use as an example. So, because obviously when we talk about something, the reasonable thing to do is, we'll have to obviously furnish an example. So this is my example. This is what I'm really focusing on at the minute. Language. Trying to find the accurate words for everything. Yeah. You cannot, honestly, you can't imagine how annoyed I get when I can't think of the word that I really need. I'm really looking for this one word to describe something, and I can't find it, and I need 7. This thing that that you use to do this bit. What all you had to say is, the word that I need is a shovel, for example. Or this thing that you use to kind of get put into the ground and kind of take ground off the shovel. Simple word. I use shovel. What shovel do you need? This is very, the soil here, it's got loads of stones in it. Shovel might not be it. I might need a pick. There you go. We've made a distinction. We're specific. Otherwise, you would be saying, "I need the specific." Be specific. Be accurate with your words. Okay. Don't confuse happiness and pleasure. Yeah. Language, yeah. And also, if you're accurate with your words, it's difficult for people to catch you. Because the more accurate you get, after every sentence, not after every sentence, but in every sentence, for example, if you think about my podcast in the past, some people, because when you're smart, or when you have things to say, people are going to put a negative label on you. What is the label most of the times? Oh, he thinks he knows everything. Okay. If I had £1 for every time I've heard this, I would be very rich now. Was it my fault? Probably for a long period of time, yeah. Because I didn't have the correct approach, which is not annoying to people. I thought people are not gonna feel insecure or find me annoying for displaying what I know and just saying the obvious. Like, if I'm good at something, I was like, yeah, I'm quite good at this. They're like, oh, whatever. So I didn't have the right approach. So I kept hearing this, oh, you think you know too much. But nowadays, especially when I talk, in every sentence that's a bit more controversial, you can go back and listen to a lot of the podcasts. I use the exact specific words. If someone challenges me, then we go back and we listen to what I said exactly. All right. Let's furnish an example. My new favorite word, furnish. Let's furnish an example here. So I would say, what you did there is stupid. Why would you do that? And the person, especially if it's a woman, obviously we're generalizing here. Why? Most women are a bit more emotional. But I don't wanna fucking put myself in a tough spot. I am doing it a little bit though. Anyway, why would you do that? That's a stupid thing to do. What did that person just hear? What are they gonna reply with? They're gonna come back at you, or when they mention it later at dinner, they're gonna say, well, it wasn't, yeah, so you think it's okay to call me stupid, yeah? What do you mean? I literally said, the thing you did is stupid. That thing that you did, that particular action wasn't smart. It was stupid. Why? How did you reach the conclusion that I said that you are stupid? I just said the action that you performed was stupid. It's two different things. Yeah, open your ears, think, yeah. Listen. So this is the importance of being specific. You can then say, oh, if you're not willing to listen to me, then what are we talking about? So you want to be specific with everything you say. You want to use precise language. Whether it is to get better, whether it is to communicate with people, the more specific you are, the better for you. Yeah, especially if there is evidence. If it's through text, guys, might be a bit. I might sound a bit like a politician, but always try and sound a bit more scientific or philosophical. When you say something and you're not 1,000,000% sure that it's a fact, yeah, just say, I'm generalizing here, but in general, it could be said that blah, 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 blah. And then when someone comes and tries to disprove you, yeah, we're furnishing another example here. can just say, well, look at the beginning of my sentence. I said, as a general rule, this is this and this is that. Or it's generally, this is generally considered to be blah, blah. You know? And you're difficult to be caught, you know, because you are just a bit too smart, a bit too specific with the way you use your words. So you're safe. When they come and argue, you're like, argue with the wall. Look at my statement. It's fine. You see? That's a bit of an advice for you. Everyone can use. That's why it's difficult to argue with me. Especially when I start getting into arguments. I really think about my sentences, that I structure them correctly, that I say the correct words. And then boom, very easily I get an emotional response out of someone, and then boom, I've basically won the argument. So it's kind of pointless. I'm looking forward to the day where I can meet my equal in arguments. To be fair, the day I meet my equal in debating or in arguments, I'm really going to like the guy, because he's going to be just as calm, just as specific and sensible and with the things he says, that I'm going to be, you know what, shake hands, yeah, you're smart. And he's going to be like, yeah, you're smart as well. And we go, yeah, let's go. There's nothing to argue, yeah. You know better, so I'm going to listen to you, no problem. Or I know better, I know more about this. Yeah, do you have any questions? Yeah. Or can you answer this question? Yes. Good answer? Yeah. Can you answer that question? No, not really. Okay. So let's find a new, let's explore the topic then, if there is no answer. Yeah. Nice argument. I'm really looking forward to meeting a person like this. That would be so nice. But yeah, anyway, that's enough for today. Kaizen, the philosophy of small incremental changes sustained over a long period of time result in significant improvements. Remember this. Remember, progress, that's what you need. It's essential. 28 is done. See you next week.